Okay, so our herbs are nice and warm. They're heated up. We stirred them. It's been 72 hours. So now we get a strainer. And with the strainer, we want to pour it into a clean, make sure that's very important, a clean glass. And we strain it out. Of course, I did not get my, always need a spatula. And we're going to have, and just keep doing this. Now, this strainer is, I figure everybody has a strainer, but it is great to have a cheesecloth to do it because it will get all of your or rice. What is it called? A rice strainer. As you can tell, I never use that. I only use a cheesecloth, but it's called a ricer. A ricer that will extract all the oils out of there, so we're not leaving any okay goodness into the into your pot. We want to make sure that we're getting it all in all the oils, and then I already showed you it will come out and it will look like this. So let me grab oops, grab this, and so it will come out in your and look like. So we're gonna transfer. So once we get the oil out, sorry for making noises. We will get a funnel, a clean funnel, and it's hard to balance all this on one hand. Okay. So you'll get a funnel. You have your funnel, you have your bottle, and then we just pour our oil in. I'm trying to show you and trying to, okay. Making sure that, of course, we already talked about that the last time, is making sure that your oil is cooled off, of course. I don't recommend using a plastic bottle, but for me, that was the only thing that I can find that had the applicator on there. So if you can find a glass bottle that has an applicator, or maybe just storing it, as you can see, I store my my oil in a glass container, and then I just heat it up, put it in there, or I'll let it sit out and put it in there. Um, I just wanted to make sure that I showed you how to strain it, and then notes of making sure that you're getting everything out, all your oil, all your oils, all your medicine. So if you have any other questions, and I'm so sorry, I'm like, okay, we got to make sure that we're showing them how to strain it out. It's really easy. Like I said, you'll have it for 72 hours. Just keep reheating, but making sure that we don't overheat it, we don't burn it. That's very important. So keeping it at a low simmer. Um, and you just let it stay covered for 2 hours. All of it will be in your instructions, but I wanted to make sure that I let you know beforehand. So thank you for being here and rocking with me. Thank you for your patience, and be on the lookout for the next one. See you later. Thanks. Or if you have any other questions, I can stick around for another 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, just to see um, if anyone has any more questions. Has anyone ever used Yarrow? This was my first time ever hearing about it at the beginning of the year. And like I said, every day I'm hearing something, another benefit of Yarrow. The list goes long to where you're like, okay, it's the snake oil, but I can say my hair grew so much and so long. I was bald. And I have pictures. If you go onto my Instagram, you will see that I was very bald. And now I have hair. I, thinning in the back of my head, and now my hair has grown back, and that was after I started seeing growth after I would say a couple of weeks. Yeah, I was very excited about it. Anything that's gonna help me grow my hair. I just really want to get it back to the thickness. And it's funny because when I was a kid, they used to say, "Oh, your hair's so thick," and I used to think that was a bad thing. Like, oh my God, I don't want my hair thick. I want it long. I'm so grateful that it was thick because when it fell out, nobody knew. You couldn't even tell because I had so much hair. I knew and my hairdresser knew, but we were the only two. So now when I can really show it, like, hey, look at my scalp, look at all these things, look at all my follicles. Hey, rosemary is good for when you having that itching. So if you have itchy hair, you might. And then another thing with that, I'm sorry, I'm always all over the place. But another thing with even with the yarrow or all of the herbs, you can play with the ingredients. And what I mean by that, maybe not use as much yarrow and use more rosemary, or not use as much cannabis or no cannabis at all. You don't really have to use the cannabis. I just know that when I first started manipulating and using cannabis, that was where my hair oil was. And it worked. It didn't work as well as the yarrow did. Once I used the yarrow, my hair just grew. Yeah, so we added the rosemary after we added the yarrow. So it was the cannabis first, the yarrow, then we used the rosemary, then we added oil. And I use avocado oil, but someone else in the chat asks, is there a different oil that they could use? Yes, use oil that you've been using for your hair that works for your hair. Like I said, coconut oil, everybody loves coconut oil, but it makes my scalp itch. So that doesn't work for me. Castor oil is really good. Castor oil is just good for you, period. For like pains, sprains, and aches, use castor oil. And I know when we were kids, you get a cough or you stopped up. They running to get the castor oil, but actually castor oil is good using it externally and not so much internally. So you can add that oil, you can put it on the cloth and then put it on, let's say if it's your wrist that's pain, you have pain in your wrist, you can soak a cloth and put that castor oil on it and then wrap it up and put maybe a heating pad on there and let that sit. So castor oil is really good. The same with your hair. It promotes growth in your hair. What other one? That's the castor oil, olive oil. Olive oil is good, but it doesn't really do anything with my hair. It just sits. So it doesn't bring any moisture. I have not used peanut oil, but that's my next one. So be looking out for that. Peanut oil and um, help me out now. Peanut oil, castor oil, mineral oil. That was a surprise to me. Mineral oil is really good too. It brings that oil, that moisture into your hair. But like I said, you want to be careful. You don't want to use it every day. I don't think anybody's hair is that dry that you need it every day. Then making sure that we're drinking enough water. Are we eating our fruits and vegetables? Are we hydrating ourselves, keeping ourselves hydrated? That may be something that you need to check, and not so much as the hair. So treat the problem, not the symptom. That's one of the biggest things that I try to teach. Treat the problem and not the symptom. Because if you using hair oil every day, then that means there's a bigger problem, a bigger issue. So it looks like that's all the questions that we've had. Have a wonderful night. And see, I didn't keep you. We were only an hour in. So I love you and God bless you. Peace. Yep.